Hey there, friend. Today I want to talk about reaching high places spiritually, or contending for the high places in the spirit realm. I've had two prophetic dreams this week, significant dreams, where the Lord has been speaking to me about contending for high places. In the first dream, it was about 3 or 4 days ago. In the first dream, I was in a 100-kilometer bike race. And I knew that the destination, the end of the race, was a town called Height, H-E-I-G-H-T. Now, in the dream, I didn't connect to the thought that it was named after Height, represent height. I just knew that the town was called Height. But I was racing, and I was in the lead, and I was about 70% of the way done. Actually, I remember I was 29 kilometers from the end because I was watching my kilometers, and I'm ahead. But I didn't know where to go. And I didn't have anyone to follow because I was in the lead. And so I'm frustrated because I don't know where Height is. And so I pulled over on the side of the road, and I'm texting my wife saying, "You got to help me find directions to this place called Height, and I need you to help me now before somebody passes me." And then I woke up. And then last night I had another dream. And in this dream, I was in another race. And friends, I want to tell you something. We are in a race. All right? Paul talked about that. 1 Corinthians 9:24, he says, in a race, you need to know all the runners run, but only one gets the prize. Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it. We do what? We go into strict training to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like a man running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer just beating the air. No, I beat my body and I make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. See, Paul understood that this spiritual life is a race. And you cannot just look at all the other Christians in your life and say, well, I'll just sort of try to keep up with them. I'll just run beside them. He says, no, only one gets the prize. Don't run like that. This is not like going for a jog with somebody. Yeah, I got people in my life I would say I run with spiritually, but friends, I'm not trying to run beside them. I want to stay ahead of them. I am running to win. I don't look at my friends, even in ministry, and say, where are they going? I want to go there. No, I watch Jesus Christ and I'm pursuing Him. And friends, I want to tell you, those of you who are really seeking the kingdom and pursuing the presence of God, don't try to follow anybody. Don't even try to follow me, friends. You need to fix your eyes on Jesus. Pursue Him, because He is the only one who can really take you to the high places. Now, if there's other people, we can learn from them. If there's, there are people in history who have accessed supernatural power and glory. I pay attention to them. I read their biographies. I want to learn about their life. But in the end, there's only one person that I am following, and that is the Lord Jesus Christ. And so we are in a race, friends. And we've got to, as Paul said, we've got to discipline our bodies. We've got to treat this life like it matters. We can't be kind of relaxed about things. Anyways, I had this other dream. Last night in this dream, I'm in another bike. I'm not a bike race. This time I'm in like a running race. But the last half of the race is stairs. It's like almost like, imagine the Calgary Tower. It'd be like thousands of stairs just going straight up. And I'm running these flights of stairs, and I am just running and running and running. And people started grabbing me. And now I'm in the lead again. I'm winning. I'm ahead of all these other people. But there was people along the way who would grab me, and they'd grab my arm and say, but what about this? And I'd have to shake them off. And they would always be theological things. It was always theological questions that people had. Well, what about this? And this about Jesus, and that about Jesus, and everyone trying to grab me. But I knew in my heart they weren't just trying to dialogue. They were trying to slow me down, because there was other people who were going to catch me and pass me if I didn't keep pressing forward. Friends, I want to tell you something, especially to those who are really pursuing and seeking kingdom. You cannot afford to let religious people slow you down. You need to just keep leaning into the kingdom life. Some of you, God's asking you to make sacrifices. He's asking you to live a life that some of your Christian friends are not willing to live. And they're looking at you saying, well, does that really matter? And aren't you getting a little religious? And you know what? You just need to shut those voices out and keep pressing on. Don't let religious people stop you from pursuing the high places. You hear the Lord, you do whatever He tells you to do. Keep pressing on. Now, also, I would say, don't try to change them either. You know what? I'm not trying to change the whole church. I'm not trying to make people feel bad. If God's calling me to walk on a highway of holiness, I'm not expecting the whole church to walk there with me, just to be honest. I don't expect everybody to choose the standards that God holds me to. But I also can't let people with lower standards hold me back. I've got to shake them off and keep pressing on for God. And I don't apologize to people who get shook off by the standards that I hold to. You know, even today, I got a call from one of my daughters who was in school. Today's Halloween. And she had said to me last night, she's like, you know, everyone's excited about, you know, the Halloween dance, and everyone's going to be dressed up. And I just don't know, you know, they asked me why I don't, you know, dress up, or why we don't celebrate Halloween. And I don't know what to say, you know. I said, well, what did you say? You know, because this was yesterday, last night before bed. I said, well, what did you say? And she said, well, I told him my dad won't let me. I said, well, that's not totally true. What do you want to do? You want to dress up as a witch and run around and beg people from candy for tomorrow? I said, is that what you want to do? She said, no. I said, well, if you want to, you go ahead. She said, what? I said, if you want to dress up. Now, I don't celebrate Halloween. But I said, if you want to dress up as a devil and run around and beg people for candy, that's your choice. I'm not stopping you. So now you don't have permission to tell your friends that your dad won't let you. Now you have to tell them something else. What are you going to tell them? And she's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to tell them. And I said, well, maybe you want to tell them that you're a Christian and that you don't celebrate Halloween. And she said, well, a lot of my friends are Christians too. They're just going to say, I'm a Christian too. And I said, well, I don't know, maybe tell them that you're a Christian who doesn't celebrate evil. You know, and she said, I can't tell them that. They'll be offended. And I said, yeah, they probably will. You know, and, you know, that's my life. You know, I'm always trying not to offend Christians who want to live low and but still pursue the high places. Friends, I want to tell you something. There are heights in God that you cannot reach if you're going to live like the rest of the world. Even today, I got a phone call from the same daughter in school. She decides she's going to go to school and she's going to be like, anyway, she got to school and everybody is just like, you know, even all her Christian friends, they're just covered in blood, you know, and they're dressed up as witches and demons and all these things. And she walked into the classroom and they said, why aren't you dressed up? And aren't you supposed to wear why aren't you wearing a costume? You're supposed to wear a costume. And she just started crying and she texted me. She's like, Dad, can you come get me? I said, yeah, I'll come get you. And so I'm letting her skip school today. But friends, like, you know what? I think of like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you know? When everybody else bowed down to that golden idol, you know, they didn't rebuke everybody. They didn't say, oh, you all bunch of heathens, what are you doing bowing down? You know what? They didn't, you know, and I think that for those, I'm talking to those who are seeking the kingdom right now, okay? You're going to have to live in a way that a lot of people aren't willing to live, even other Christians. And I'm not going around telling all the Christians, oh, you're a bunch of heathen, you can't do this, or you shouldn't, you know. But at the end of the day, I also can't apologize when they bow down to the things of this world. You want to put on a costume and celebrate evil on the same day as everybody else. You know what? I'm not going to put you down. I'm not going to condemn you. I'm not going to tell you what you can't do. But I tell you what, I'm also not going to let you tell me that I have to bow. Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, whether it offends you or not, I'm just going to keep on standing. And if you want to throw me in a fire, you just go right ahead. But I'm just going to keep on standing, because that's what kingdom people do. And friends, I want to tell you, as you're pursuing the heights in God, don't try to keep up with all the Christians. You need to just hear the voice of the Lord. You need to say yes to God. You need to press forward, press on. And I'm not, you don't need to try to convince everyone else to keep up. You're never going to convince all the other Christians to join you on the highway of holiness. But friends, you need to live there anyways. And because it's not for everyone. That's just the reality. I know that sounds kind of mean, and I'm not trying to create some elitist thing, but the reality is, Paul said, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize. The prize is not heaven, friend. A lot of Christians are getting to heaven. I believe there's going to be over 1 billion people in heaven. That's not the prize he was talking about. He's talking about the kingdom of God. He's talking about the high places of the Spirit. He's talking about the glory realms. There's a lot of people who are going to run in this race, but not everybody's going to have encounters with Jesus Christ. Not everyone's going to see visions. Not everyone's going to lay their hands on the sick and see them recover. Not everyone is going to have a conversation with an angel. But friends, those realms are available. The high places are available for those who are willing to press on, to press forward, to say yes to God, and do what it takes to win the race. And I want to encourage you, win your race. Well, anyway, I went a little bit long today, but hope that was a blessing to you. Want to encourage you, once again, if you haven't already, sign up for our email list. Don't expect social media to let you know about all of our messages. Left-wing social media is not going to try to push kingdom teaching on you. If you want to get these messages, you need to be on our email list. Otherwise, you're just going to see once in a while on Facebook. I don't ask you for money. I don't send you junk mail. All I want to do is send you my messages for free. Free links to all my messages. And so make sure you sign up for our community. And all you do to do that is just send me an email at feedback@oilpatchpulpit.com and say, Steve, I like your stuff. And we'll send you emails until you click unsubscribe. And so, anyways, God bless you. Click share. We'll see you soon.